you, everybody who is watching this video. My name is Olenjolai Moko TAYAI Losingo. Simply just call me Olenjolai. I'm from beautiful country called Tanzania, eastern of the African continent. I'm very happy and I'm very glad to have you today. Whether you're international or a national viewer, you're only welcome. I believe that you are in a very good place, and you're a very good place that you will be delivering good news for the rest of your learning process. Before even I take much of your time, I would like to welcome you firstly into our online school that's called TANZANIA Online Ordinary Secondary School in square bracket Olenjolai. Secondly, I would like to welcome you simultaneously into one of our YouTube channel, because we have 6 YouTube channels. We have 2 online schools, we have 4 online schools, we have 2 online institutions, and one of our YouTube channels is called TANZANIA Online O-Level Seki School in square bracket Olenjolai. Don't get confused on the names of the Tanzania, because the contents we are going to provide will be focused on the syllabus of the United Republic of Tanzania. But remember that every subject that we are going to teach, it's global. It means it's universal. None of the subject which has been prepared, which has been discovered by the Tanzanians themselves. But the issue is just you would like to focus on the curriculums of the particular country. So, in Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School, we do have a vision. We do have a vision, which is a clear picture that God, who is the founder of this program, has declared or has published and has written in our mind. And I would like to remind you every time that I meet with you, because vision is powerful more than plans. And visions up there, and vision is very important than plans. And vision is permanent, while plans might change. So this is the vision that He written in our heart, that we like it to be a part of preparing through teaching, incubating, training, encouraging, leading, and even mentor some group of students who are ready to clearly understand and love the classroom instructions that you are gathering in the formal education, whether you're a private student or you are a school candidate or a school students. Means that you are private students, you are studying at your home, you're studying somewhere else at a certain tuition center. So remember that our main objective here, we like to teach, train, incubate, lead, mentor some group of students who will be ready to understand and love the classroom instruction in science and mathematics, to combine with the knowledge of Word of God that I'll be teaching you in one of the departments that called departments of the kingdoms of heaven, where we have a biblical perspective, biblical understanding. So to combine with the knowledge from the Word of God that written in the Holy Bible, in order to solve real life problems. So see, in a simple sentence, right? In a simple sentence, this is visions of Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School, right? This is the visions of Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School in square bracket Olenjolai. To teach, to incubate, to train, to mentor, to encourage, and to lead some groups of students who will love and understand clear and extracting knowledge from the formal educations in science subjects and in mathematics, to combine with the knowledge from the Word of God in order to solve real life problems of any scale. It might be sounding, what am I telling you? It might be sounding like impossible, even myself when I heard it myself, because I'm a product, I'm a fruit of what I'm telling you. I'm a product of clear understanding of own, or it means that processing and even the pondering, the clear understanding of the classroom instructions that I'm going to teach you, formally and informal. And also, I'm a product of the Word of God that I've been meditating for more than 11 years right now, every day, every night. So, and I used to combine these 2 knowledge to solve real life problems. So when I had it in my mind more than 8 years ago, I thought it is impossible. It could take several months, it could take several years to achieve it. But the thing which I want to have been asked by the Lord to tell you that it is impossible. Nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. I know that you have been wondering on yourself, possibly that the viewer that you are watching this video, you are either students or you're a parent or your guardians or your sponsor, you've been wondering about how you can help your kids or how you can help yourself on understanding physics, chemistry, mathematics, biology, agriculture, so that you can achieve your vision, because possibly your visions in science. So you've been wondering, going school to school, going tuition center to another tuition center, but possibly you have never got the answer. I would like to tell you that in advance, the right answer for your hungering, for your hunger, and for your thirsty on seeking the knowledge in science, in mathematics, in the word of God, later on in engineering, later on in computer programming. So the thirsty means that you are thirsty will be well satisfied by the grace of God through Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School. So stay tuned. You are in the right place, and get prepared and prepare a number of the questions, because we'll be having and owning the answers day after day. So that's the point that I wanted to make. We have so many specific objectives. In Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School, currently we have 4 departments. One department is called Departments of Basic Mathematics, where we are teaching Basic Mathematics Form 1, Basic Mathematics Form 2, Basic Mathematics Form 3, Basic Mathematics Form 4. And also we have another department that called the Department of Physics, where we are teaching students Physics Form 1, Physics Form 2, Physics Form 3, Physics Form 4, and we believe that nothing is impossible. Tell your neighbor, nothing is impossible in science. We Tanzanian, we can learn, understand, and apply the knowledge in science, mathematics, engineering, computer programming, and in order to combine with the word of God that written in the Holy Bible to solve our own real life problems, from small scale real life problems to extraordinary real life problems that we have in our community. Because even myself here, I'm solving a real life problems. I'm not answering the questions in the examinations, in the final exams, maybe in university or somewhere else, right? So that we have another department which is called Departments of Chemistry, where we are teaching Chemistry Form 1, Chemistry Form 2, and Chemistry Form 3, Chemistry Form 4. So stay tuned. We have another department which is called the Departments of the Kingdoms of Heaven, where we are going to ponder the truths in the Old Covenant and the New Covenant of the Holy Bible. We'll be pondering all the 39 books of the Old Covenant in the Holy Bible and all the 27 books of the New Covenant. So stay tuned, stay focused. Great knowledge is coming and is being led and pushed into the air and into the network, into the internet, by the Lord himself, who the Lords who own everything in this planet Earth. So those are the 4 departments. But again, I want just to let you know that we are doing a lot of things. Today, we are in departments of physics, and then we are also in the subject of the day is called the physics. And we have, this is chapter 1, we are going to lesson about chapter 1, which is applications of vectors. And this is session 2. I've already taught you session 00, general introductions of the physics for the form series. And I have taught you session 1, which is general introductions of the applications of the vectors. And this is session 2, which is called or titled as Scalar and Vector Quantities. Scalar and Vector Quantities. And these contents in Tanzania dedicated or has been planned by the Tanzania Institute of Education to be taught to Form 3, pre-Form 3 students and also Form 3 students, or we call them in some of the country Class 11. So in Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School, we have again another last piece of news, which I would like to finish, and then I will take you into the sessions, because I know right now you've prepared your book, you've prepared your exercise book, you've prepared your mind, your fresh mind, you've prepared your pen, so you are ready, your pencil, your ruler, your compass, so you are ready to follow me step to step when we'll be pondering the truth about the physics for the Form 3. Nothing is impossible. Physics for the Form 3 is not as difficult a subject. It's a very interesting subject. The issue is who is teaching you. Again, so we have a library in Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School. So this will be the second from the last. In this library, we have a lot of resources that we like to equip our students. This we call equipments number 1, which is titled as Physics Syllabus for Ordinary Secondary Schools. It's titled as Physics Syllabus for Ordinary Secondary Education from 1 through 4, which is printed, which has been prepared by Tanzania Institute of Education. If you're watching me from Kenya, or from Uganda, or from Mozambique, or maybe from South Africa, or from United States of America, don't get confused, because I'm showing you the syllabus of Tanzania. The syllabus of Tanzania is not equivalent to the syllabus of United States of America. So you have to make sure that you grab the syllabus from any library, from any local shops. You grab it in your hands and you check the contents, and then you come back to Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School to check whether we are covering those contents, so that we can take you from one point to another point, because that's our responsibility. We'll be given by our Father who is in heaven. Again, we have the second weapons, which we call textbook, as I've explained to you in session 00. This textbook is called the Physics Form 3 and Form 4 Students Book. It's also prepared by Tanzania Institute of Education. This book, it comprises 9 chapters for the Physics Form 3, and also all the chapters for the Physics Form 4. It's a very interesting book. I'll be using as a reference, and you can order this book if you're in Tanzania, you're any regions of Tanzania, you're any school in United Republic of Tanzania, whether day school or boarding school, whether seminary school or government school. You don't worry. Or whether you're a private student that you're studying at home, you are doing the QT studies, you can order this book. We have a library in Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School, and that library so you can order. Just go to the descriptions, you see how you can order. We have only 2 costs: the cost to buy a book and the cost for the shipping in any regions of United Republic of Tanzania. But again, we have a third weapon. We call it question and answer book, and here we have Physics Ordinary Level Physics Review. This is a review for the Certificate Secondary Education Examination in Tanzania. If you are watching this contents from Asia, content from Indonesia, from Singapore, make sure that you have question and answers books of Singapore. So, because physics is universal, what we are learning, when we are learning about Archimedes, when we are learning about applications of vector, we are learning about possibly about optical instrument. That is a common topic worldwide, right? So don't get confused about that one. So again, you can order this book. It is cheap. You can order, just you have to buy it, and then you have to pay for the shipping cost. Again, we have some other weapons. Number 5, which is the exercise book. For instance, you can have this exercise book. Don't worry to have an exercise book. You can have a pen, you can have a pencil, you can have a ruler. And right now, let me take you into the interesting business. Okay, so let us begin with a quick review. I want to link, quick review. So I want to link lecture session 2 with session 1. Session 1, you can access it in our YouTube channel. Okay, it's titled as General Introductions of Applications of Vector. Very interesting. The prerequisite of this session or session 2 is session 1. Alright. So quick review, session 1. So in session 1, basically what we have taught you or we have presented to you, first of all, we have presented to you the big picture of physics. Big picture, say big picture of physics. That physics, this is not a new subject. We learn physics since we were in standard 3, right, of primary education, right? So then again, I presented to you about the big picture of physics from 3. So F3 means from 3. I presented to you about 9 chapters, right? Presented to you about 9 chapters of 40 of physics from 3. And then that was not enough. I presented to you all the subtopics of what? How many subtopics, if you do remember, subtopics of application of vector. Applications of 40 of vector. Again, after presenting subtopics, I presented to you about specific objectives of each subtopic. So in each subtopic, you have to achieve some specific objective. Again, that was not enough. I took you to the next step that I mentioned about concepts that we are going to cover, concepts that we have to cover when we are learning about applications of 40 of vectors. Okay, of vectors. So, after teaching you all of those pieces of very important and relevant information that you can access them at any time and anywhere, that's the goodness of digital technology. You can access this content anytime and anywhere. And you can learn this lecture several times, 3 times, 4 times. You can watch this video 5 times, 10 times, until that this information is written in your mind. Okay? So then let us begin with these concepts of scalar and vector quantities. So in this one, I can divide into two parts. Let me, ladies and gentlemen, teach you about scalar quantity. Okay, scalar quantity. Scalar quantity. Say scalar quantity. Or scalar quantities. Just scalar quantity. So scalar quantities. Let us write them in plural. Quantities. Scalar quantities. Okay, so say scalar quantities. So in measurement, the first topic of physics for one, I talked about what the means of the physical quantity. So straightforward here in Form 3, you have to record those pieces of information. In case you forgot, you have to review in the playlist of the physics of Form 1 and find it. Question number 1. Question number 1, what is scalar quantity? Or what is scalar quantity? Or what are the scalar quantity? Or define scalar quantity. That's the question that we have. So I found so many definitions, but I prefer the two, which you can choose either of them. So it says scalar quantity in singular. Scalar quantity. Scalar quantity is any physical quantity. Is any physical quantity which so is any physical quantity, so a scalar quantity, it's any physical quantity which has magnitude only. So it's any physical quantity. So how many physical quantities we have in physics? We have so many physical quantities. So scalar, this is the group of some of the physical quantities which have only magnitude. What does it mean? It means that they possess only magnitude. For example, length, it possesses only magnitude, which it can be maybe 20 centimeters, or maybe 4 inches, or maybe 4 inches. The distance from here, the length from here to here is 4 inches, or the width from this point to this point is 4 inches. So that is the magnitude. It doesn't show the directions, whether that 4 inches is from here to here or from here to here. That's one of the definitions. Or, as a reference, define scalar quantity as is a physical quantity which is full described by its size or its magnitude. The size or its magnitude only. That's the second definition of scalar physical quantity. That's the message I've been given today to teach about scalar and vector quantity. After we cover those two concepts, we end the session there. So in the physical quantity which is full, described by its size or magnitude only. The key word in this definition is any physical quantity in singular. If you be asked to define scalar quantities, you have to say are any physical quantities which has magnitude only. So underlines, those are the we call them the keywords. So this is only defined or distinguished. One scalar quantity is distinguished with another physical quantity by only using the magnitude, right? That's the magnitude or the size of that physical quantity. So we have again another common question in medical testing and even in some of the exam, and this is the common start, okay? Possibly that you can find a question like this one. Mention 10 examples. Mention 10 examples of 40 of a scalar physical quantity. Mention 10 examples examples of scalar physical quantity or scalar quantity. Scalar quantity. Scalar quantity. Okay? Scalar quantity. Or some of the question, define scalar quantity and mention 5 examples. Okay. So he said that because you have to get knowledge, we won't teach you to cram in these online institutions. Okay? So he said that we have so many examples of scalar quantity, but some of them are the following, right? So the first one is length. This is the physical quantity which we are familiar with. The second one is mass. This we call them fundamental physical quantity. The third one is time. The first one is temperature. Say temperature. Temperature. The fifth one is speed, not velocity, speed. The sixth one is distance. Distance, say distance. The seventh one is specific heating capacity. Specific heating capacity. The eighth one is area. The ninth one is volume. The 10th one is density. So you've been asked to mention 10, and I've already mentioned 10. Again, another piece of information that I'd like to add to you, in case you feel from your heart that you have got something, or this program is going to transform you from the ignorance into the knowledge, and you feel from your heart that you want to offer God your free will in thanksgiving, which you will support the running cost for this program, so that so many lectures and so many videos of physics from Siri will be in air at the required time by the owner of this program. So you can send your thanksgiving through this telephone number 0759745731. But also you can read the descriptions in case that you want to do the blank transaction. So these are the examples of 40 examples of scalar physical quantities. Okay? You can add even to 15 examples. Because some of the questions you might find that you'll be given some matching items, which is the mixture of scalar and vector quantities. Okay? So that's a very important question. But how can we show this? This is scalar. Another level is electric current, also the scalar quantity. So how we can show this is scalar quantity? The way we can show, so this is demonstration, maybe graphically, we can say that Olenjolai is living in Dar es Salaam. And then there is a distance from Dar es Salaam to Dodoma. Right? From Dodoma to Dodoma. So Dar to Dodoma. So if I wanted to measure, because here there's an issue called, that you can either call distance or displacement between Dar es Salaam and Vati and Dodoma. So because we have that representation, we can either, when we represent it, we just know the magnitude, the distance from Dar es Salaam to Dodoma, without knowing the directions of Dodoma from Dar es Salaam, then that we call the scalar quantity. So for instance here, we just need to know the distance between Dar es Salaam and Dodoma, which you can even look somewhere because you can get it. Okay? So this is the one-way demonstration in case of the distance. But again, you can have another demonstration. That maybe session one took 1 hour. Took 1 hour. So what does it mean? Took 1 hour. So session 1 took 1 hour, which is 60 minutes. So it doesn't show. So that from where to where. So it doesn't show any direction. Okay? Okay, so for again another example, you can say that maybe volume of the cone is equal to 20 meter cube. 20 meter cube. So 20 meter cube doesn't show the direction. Okay? So there are so many different ways that you can show the scalar physical quantity. Okay, I believe that you enjoyed. Tell me in the comment section if you have understood about scalar physical quantity. In case that you find I'm teaching and writing quickly, don't worry. It's the beauty of learning through videos or through digital technology, because you can review that content in absence of the teacher. Okay? In absence of the teacher. So, that is all about scalar quantity. Once that you can find, or we can find something else or another concept, we can learn it later. So right now, we say that I would like to take you, ladies and gentlemen, into the third question. So into the part B, which is the part of the title of the chapter. So it's called the vector quantity. Say with me, vector quantity. Vector quantity. Okay? So we have a third fundamental question. And this third fundamental question is define vector quantity. Define vector quantity. Quantity. Okay? So define vector quantity. So I say vector quantity. Vector quantity is any physical quantity which have both, you just edit the previous definition, both magnitude. Remember that magnitude also we call it size or size, right? And what and the direction. So now the vector quantity has two components. The first component is what? Magnitude. And the second component is what? Direction. And directions is the one component that making any physical quantity to be a vector quantity. Right? So it matters. So the issue of direction is matters, especially in physics. Because for example, force is a vector quantity. So when you be showing that expressions in planes, in vector planes, or whatever, you have to show it as a vector quantity. Okay? So that is about what vector quantity. As any physical quantity which have both magnitude and the direction. This is one of the definitions that they formed. Let me give you, or let me present to you another definition. So another definition is a vector quantity is any physical quantity which can be described fully by its magnitude and direction. So that's the second definition of vector. A vector quantity is any physical quantity. Very important keyword. is any physical quantity. Very important keyword. Any physical quantity which can be described full by its magnitude and the direction. So you can have another question, which is quality question number 4. Mention, this is T. My beloved student, this is T. Mention 10 examples of scalar. Remember that one quantity cannot be in both parts. Mention 10 examples of scalar quantities. Okay? So the first example, which is the fundamental example, is first of all is velocity. Velocity. That's the first vector quantity. The second vector quantity is acceleration. Acceleration. The other one is called retardation. Retardation or deceleration. Deceleration. Retardations or deceleration. Then the next one is called momentum. And there's a linear in the momentum. Okay. Then another way from second Newton law is called the force. It's a vector quantity, force. Then the other one is called the torque. Momentum, force, torque. Then we come again. Force, torque, and then you say angular momentum. Okay. Then the eighth example, angular momentum, pressure, angular momentum, torque, force, momentum, retardation or acceleration, velocity, and we have again some more examples. Displacement, okay, displacement, and then okay. So you have again displacement. We still need two, but only one. So we have velocity, we have acceleration, we have retardation, we have momentum, we have force, we have torque, we have angular momentum, we have pressure, we have displacement. What else? Okay. So these are the 9 examples of 40, 9 examples of okay. So I think let us continue once I remember, and I can put there. Because we have pressure already, we have angular momentum, we have torque, we have force, we have displacement. Okay. So we have these 9 vector quantities. They do both have what? They do both have magnitude, and also they do have what it? Yes, and then the other ones, okay, remember it now. It is electric field. Electric field. The other ones in addition is magnetic field. Electric field density. And this is electric field density. Then we have electric field. Okay, electric field. We have electric field and magnetic field, but they are represented with electric field. So these are the examples of 40 of vector quantities. So from there it means that how do we represent these vector quantities? That's a very important question. So how do we represent it at a vector quantity? For instance, that this is the rest. Okay. So we say that, for instance, from Dar es Salaam, this is the distance between Dar es Salaam and the Kilimanjaro International Airport here. So from this distance, you can have what? You can have possibly the distance. So maybe a certain distance that from okay. So from maybe, for example, that we say distance from Dar es Salaam to Kia is a certain value, let's say X. And then we say the distance of walking from Dar es Salaam to Kia, or maybe having a car transport, a public transport, so you can spend the entire day. So for this case, we find that because it's vector point, you have to show the direction. Okay? So that's the point that you have to make sure that you understand the difference. So you can have maybe, if you want to define Dar es Salaam to Kia by using the okay, so it means that here we can have only just distance X. or distance y. Okay. So that's the way. So we say that, for example, we want to represent Gamboni they say that the distance from Kigamboni to Bungo, they say that it's 100 kilometers. Okay, it's 100. Let's say, for example, it's 100 kilometers. Let's say 100 kilometers in which direction? So here, this is, we say that the point where we can find that person. So you can see that this is Kigamboni, and then this is Bungo. Okay, so that's the point that we have to make. That the distance from K to U is a certain value, but the distance also is a certain value. Okay, so that's a very important point that you have to remember once you're learning about vector and scalar quantities. So, if that's the case, do you have any question? That's what we are supposed to cover today. And even the presentation, because you find that we are going to have, let's say, we have 2 points, A, B. Then we say that this is equal to 4 Newton. Okay, Newton. So it means that this indicating directions is this way. Okay, so that's the point that you have to remember, that this is a vector quantity, or you can have the scalar quantity, but it does not have what direction. Okay, so if that's the case, after demonstrating and doing all of this stuff, now it's the time, because we are done. That's what we cover in scalar and vector quantity. So it's the time for homework 2. Write yourself. Try it yourself. Try this question yourself. So as I said that I'm going to use one of the reference books in teaching you, which is titled as well the student's book. So we have 2 questions, right? We have 2 questions in this book, which are very important. Okay. So I say that let us try on our own. There's a question number 1 and question number 2. Okay, so it means that this is ending of the topic questions of chapter 1. So this is the questions which about the scalar and vector. Distinguish between a vector and a scalar quantity. Give 4 examples of each. State which of the following are vectors and which ones are scalars. Very interesting question. So this one now make one of the problems which are called example 1. Example 1. Refer not refer. Refer, we say that in physics books, physics from 3 and 4 students. Physics from 3 and 4 students' books. And when you go to this book, which you can order through the Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School, page 7. So if you have a book, you can check. There are the 2 questions. Question 1 is called distinguish between a vector distinguish between a vector and the scalar quantity. And the scalar quantity. Distinguish between a vector and the scalar quantity. Give 4 examples. Give four examples. 4 examples of each. Give 4 examples of each. That's the first 2 questions. Then you have example 2. Okay, so example what? Example 2. So example 2. The question says that you have to enjoy physics. State whether, state which, of the following are vectors which of the following are vectors and which ones are scalar. Okay, so it says state which of the following are vectors and which are scalars. You've been given a list of the physical quantities. So you have to say which physical quantity is scalar and which physical quantity is vector. I told you. The basic concept, you have to look about direction. So the physical quantities are length, mass, time, weight, weight, volume, density, speed. So this question will test your understanding, whether you have understood what I'm teaching you or not. Density, speed, velocity, acceleration, then you have force, then you have force, then you have momentum. After also you have pressure. You have temperature and the energy. Momentum, pressure, temperature, and the energy. So these two questions, which I took them from this reference book, are very important, are very interesting. The first question is distinguish between vector and a scalar quantity. Define a scalar quantity, define a vector quantity. Find another distinction between them. But again, give 4 examples of each. Mention 4 examples of scalar quantity and mention 4 examples of the scalar quantity, and the 5 vector quantities also required. So in the second question, which is example 2, state which of the following are vectors, which are the scalars. Which ones are the scalar? Length, mass, time, weight, volume, density, speed, density. So density is repeated twice. So velocity, acceleration, force, momentum, pressure, temperature, and the energy. So these are words that you have to make sure that these are the physical quantities which you have to classify, which are the scalars and which are the vector. That's your responsibility. But the big events are the physical quantities. I didn't mention for my brain, they have been written from the book, which I showed you. So this is the end of session 2, the scalar and vector quantities. Make sure to do this homework. Remember to subscribe. Remember to send the free willings offering to God. So that Thanksgiving offering number 0759745731. And register name is Olenjolai TAYAI. Again, I'd like to remind you and insist you that make sure to go through all of these contents step to step. When we meet in the third session, which will be session 3, then we'll go to the next step. So may God bless you and keep you abundantly. Thank you for choosing me and thank you for choosing my program. May God bless you and protect you until we meet in session 3 when we take it to the next level. So may God bless you. I thank you very much. I insist you to keep on learning physics for the Form 3, even physics for Form 1, Form 2, possibly that you've forgotten them. So this is the right place for you to go through all the contents that you have been prepared for. So may God bless you. Remember that to share these contents with your friends, with the students, Tanzanian students who are in O-level right now, and keep these contents that for a long time. And may God bless you abundantly. This is Olenjolai, who loves you so much. And may God bless you and keep you until we meet in the next session.